Hello everyone, my name is Jelena Benic. I'm a senior student at RIT Croatia in Dubrovnik at International Hospitality and Service Management. Last year, 17 students, with the mentorship of the Professor Domagoj Nikolic, decided to organize an event called brewRIT. The initial idea was that it was supposed to be a 3-day rock and roll festival where we would promote the brewRIT beer. The ingredients for the beer were sent by Professor Francis Domaj from Rochester, from his Domaj farm. However, Corona came and disrupted everything. Therefore, we had nothing else to do but to adapt. So we decided to promote the cooperation between Dubrovnik, Croatia and United States, Rochester. I hope you will enjoy this video, and I believe you will have the chance to try the brewRIT beer.
The initial idea for the project came from the person who actually founded this college in Dubrovnik back in 1996-97. That is our Professor Francis Domoj. He not only is a professor, but he's also a farmer, and he grows barley specifically for the craft industry.
Our farm occupies about 2,000 acres of land. It includes many grains. Certainly, one of the grains that we are working on for the brewing industry is barley, and barley is raised on our farm. We also are raising various kinds of other cereal grains for baking. We're also raise other grains for distilling for the spirits business.
We made a pre-prohibition lager. Idea was actually made it because of this corona pandemic, and that was like very interesting to us to make some beer which is made also in United States 100 years ago, and it was a similar situation. Everything was closed up and the bar was closed like today, so that was like idea to make some product. This was a great opportunity to work with young people, young students who are still on college, and to teach them on real work actually, or our experience in this business.
The malting process is actually a very simple process. It's mimicking sort of the natural growth of a plant from a seed. And so what we do is we take grain that has been properly cleaned and dried, and we soak it in water for about 2 days. And we change the water 2 to 3 times over that 2-day period. And what happens is that the seed absorbs water. After you dry the grain down and it's malt, you can do additional things to it to create a range of flavors and colors. So one of the things that we did was we roasted some of the malts. Similar to roasting green coffee beans into a light roast, a medium roast, or a dark roast coffee, we can take barley or rye and we can roast that malt into a light biscuit malt, which will just give you some very light toast type aromas. We can roast it further into something like a coffee malt where you would get more toffee and coffee aromas and flavors. And you would also start to see a darker beer. And then we can roast something where it's very dark and you start tasting like dark chocolate in the beer.
For me, it was such an amazing experience, an amazing project. Of course, challenging because it was hard to work with people, especially over Zoom, and if we needed something right away. And also suppliers, not all of them are the best ones. Some of them are more challenging, some of them are less challenging, and especially during the Corona time. But I had nothing but the fun, and I'm so thankful that I was able to gain so much knowledge during this project. And I'm so thankful for my team, because without them, nothing would be possible. My message for the next generation would be that nothing is impossible. You will overcome every obstacle. Just communicate, and that's the most important thing that help us to reach the goal.
My job is coordination and teaching students what to do and help them invent solutions for the unforeseen problems, and really to keep their morale and provide individual and collective support. But also my role sometimes is to coordinate between all different partners in this project, because these things are quite complex. So I would like to thank everybody, first the students and then to the partners, and then everybody else who supported us along the way, because that was really crucial. Without that support, no such thing would be possible.
I think with any of these types of projects, really the important part is not only the learning experience from the project itself and the final accomplishment of it, but it's also all the challenges that come up with. And I think in the case of this particular project, that we had a plan, and certainly students had a great plan in going forward in the direction that it was going to go prior to COVID-19. But one of the things that what I think was actually an excellent learning outcome was the fact of this extra challenge required to be able to move the direction, look for a different outcome, which to me was all part of a wonderful learning experience. Yes, would I have preferred, and for the students' sake, that the project had gone according to the original plan? Most definitely. But the fact that this happened, and they did an excellent job of recovering, I think it was really a great learning experience. And I'd really encourage all students to, any of these kind of experiential learning, to do that more than just their classwork. And I would love to say to the students who were involved in the project that this is the only time in your whole working career that you'll have something that won't go according to plan. But if I was to say that, I would be lying, because there will be challenges and all kinds of things. When I look at our 24 years of operating here in Croatia and the things that we have dealt with that were some big disruptions, including recently COVID-19, it's a part of business. And I think the fact that all the students involved in this have had this experience early in their careers, they're going to benefit from it in the long run.